Friends, welcome Holly Neer.
Hi, oh Amy, we love you, Amy. Love you, Amy. Thank you. It's been a great pleasure to participate. I want to add to the conversation that's been going on about what young people have been doing in the movement that sometimes we don't see. They've participated in social forums on college campuses. They've been protesting the making of athletic equipment and clothes that are done in sweatshops by tiny hands. They participate in trying to protect the environment. In California, my niece was very much involved in the Stop Using Plastic Bags campaign. Now you can't unless you want to pay for them. There's an anti-fracking movement. There's the Occupy movement that took place. There's Israeli-Palestinian youth who are driving coalitions. There's Hands Up and Black Lives Matter. There's the GLBTQ equality marriage. There are whistleblowers. There's internet organizing, a tool that we didn't have when we were coming up. There's those young immigrant students who are working on DREAM Act and border activities. There's hip hop and spoken word. There's soldiers resisting. There's Planned Parenthood and women on campuses all over the United States working to try to have rights for women. There's Stopping Trafficking. There's anti-rape organizations on campus, both girls and boys. There's V-Day. There's mountaintop removal groups led by youth people down in the Appalachia trying to stop the mining where they go off and cut the top. And the list goes on and on and on. And so let's try to break the habit of asking, where are the young people? If we don't know where they are, it's our fault. They are there, we just are not seeing them. I want to ask Emma's Revolution to join me on a song. You know, the first bombing that the United States Air Force did in the United States was against the miners. They bombed their own population. Was the first time the Air Force used bombs. I have dreamed on this mountain since first I was my mother's daughter, and you can't just take my dreams away. And not with me watching. You may drive a big machine, but I was born a great big woman, and you can't just take my dreams away without me fighting. This old mountain raised my many daughters. Some died young, some are still living. If you come here for the taking of mountain, well, we ain't come here to give it. I have dreamed on this mountain since first I was my mother's daughter, and you can't just take my dreams away. And not with me watching. No, you can't just take my dreams away without me fighting. No, you can't just take my dreams away. I was very excited by the Occupy movement, and I went to New York, was at the park, and was so moved by what I saw. New language being brought forward, new ways of meeting, new articulating of things that we may have been thinking about and doing for 40 years, but had kind of gone to sleep a little bit, and it woke up. So I was up in Albany, and there was an Occupy up there. I was doing a concert and about 6 blocks away in a park. They'd taken over the park. And so during the first set of the concert, I talked about Occupy and how exciting it was. At intermission, someone told me that the police had gotten word from higher up that they were meant to close down the Occupy Park that night at 11 o'clock. So the second part of the show, we just used it as kind of a rallying call and asked everybody afterwards to go over to the park and bear witness to what was about to happen. And I was ill and I had to go back to the hotel, but the next morning someone said, "It's unbelievable, the police decided not to take the orders from higher up. They said it was late, it was dark, it was cold, and they were afraid that they would start a riot and people would get hurt. and that something quite odd had happened. About 11:45, all these old people showed up. I want to do one last song and then turn it over to Pat Humphreys and Sandy Opata, who are Sandy O, sorry, she calls herself Sandy O now, who make up the group Emma's Revolution. They are two of the hardest working peace and justice singers in the country. And out of the country. They went with me to Chile a while ago, and they've been to Palestine to teach, work with girls there to help them learn to write songs about their lives, and great artists. So, I'm going to take a drink of water.
How much do we love Holly Near? That's what I thought.
Thank you. I was 21, I think, when I went on the FTA tour, the Free the Army tour. And I didn't even know what the military-industrial complex was. And I really give great credit not only to Jane Fonda, who was leading that tour, but to the soldiers in the military who were resisting war and racism from within. Extraordinary movement. If you haven't seen the film FTA, you can get it. And the other film that's the companion film that goes really well with explaining the history is the film Sir, No Sir, about the military resistance. And they really helped me understand the way in which war not only affects soldiers, not only affects policy, not only affects communities, but very in particular how it affects women in countries around the world that the U.S. occupies. And kind of the introductory aha moment for me to become a feminist was when I met a woman in the Philippines who had lived in a farm, and the military had dropped itself on top of the farmland, and the people who lived there had to go find work elsewhere. So she left and went to the city to work, had no skills, had to become a prostitute. She would go to the ships, pick up a soldier, have sex with him, get paid, keep half the money for herself, give the other half to a revolutionary Filipino organization. And she would say to the soldier, there is such a thing as a GI movement of soldiers who are resisting war and racism from in the military. We don't want you here, you don't want to be here. Join that movement and end the occupation of countries all over the world by the United States military. And I thought after meeting that woman and she telling her story, you can organize anywhere, anyhow, no matter who you are. There is no excuse to not take a step forward towards revolution. There is no excuse. This song has nothing to do with that. I ain't afraid of your Yahweh. I ain't afraid of your Allah. I ain't afraid of your Jesus. I'm afraid of what you do in the name of your God. I ain't afraid of your churches. I ain't afraid of your temples. I ain't afraid of your praying. I'm afraid of what you do in the name of your God. Can you rise up? Find the higher power, free up from fear, it will devour you. Watch out for the ego of the hour, the ones who say they know it are the ones who will impose it on you. I ain't afraid of your Yahweh. I ain't afraid of your Allah. I ain't afraid of your Jesus. I'm afraid of what you do in the name of your God. Can you rise up? Find the higher story, free up from the gods of war and glory. Watch out for the threats of purgatory. The spirit of the wind will make a killing off a sinner, Satan. I ain't afraid of your Yahweh. I ain't afraid of your Allah. I ain't afraid of your Jesus. I'm afraid of what you do in the name of your God. And I ain't afraid of your borders. I ain't afraid of
your teachers. I ain't afraid of your choices. I'm afraid of what you do in the name of your gods. And I ain't afraid of your dances. I ain't afraid of your music. I ain't afraid of your children. I'm afraid of what you do in the name of your God.
We love Holly. What a great woman to learn how to do this amazing work with.
The seed was planted for me to be an activist when, as I was watching my older sisters go away to college, and I would stay with them in their dorm on the weekend, little sis weekends. And then I came home from school one day, and on the news was an image of 4 students dying just outside my sister's dorm. Came home from school to the war on TV, looked at the soldiers and thought I saw me, looked at the children, saw my own face. I saw myself dying all over the place, saw myself hiding and shaking with fear, desperately wondering how I got here. From the seat on my bus to my mother's front door, to my shock I had come all right into a war. So many years and we're back here again. Wasn't anyone listening then? Are we listening now? Have we joined the debate? Our Gulf of Tonkin, our Watergate, our 9/11, our own demise. No more silence and lies. I could see the young man whose number was up. I could see the girl pleading and shaking a cup. Her mother beside her, missing a leg. A field, a landmine, a reason to beg. A reason to cower, a reason to fight. A reason to question who's wrong or who's right. To raise up a rifle and sharply take aim. To find myself caught in the midst of a game. So many years and we're back here again. Wasn't anyone listening then? Are we listening now? Have we joined the debate? Our Gulf of Tonkin, our Watergate, our 9/11, our own demise. No more silence and lies. Iraq, Southeast Asia, this city or town, whether your skin is red, yellow, or brown, or white as a sheet, or black as the night, why are we always so ready to fight? Fighting for freedom or claiming the soil, power, cheap labor, rubber or oil, raising a child or raising a fist. Will you stand up for your right to resist? So many years and we're back here again. Wasn't anyone listening then? Are we listening now? Have we joined the debate? Our Gulf of Tonkin, our Watergate, our 9/11, our own demise. No more silence and no more silence and no more silence and love. Thank you so much. I wrote that for this 36th anniversary of the killings at Kent State, and I have always wanted to sing that song for you all. People will say, you're just preaching to the choir. And that may be so. But
Tonight.
they may be so, especially tonight. but in truth, I've always really wondered, who is the choir? And in those moments when we really need one another, will we be there for one another? And aren't there those moments where we really need to be lifted up? Has anybody seen the choir? I want to preach to the converted. I want to see them rising up. Don't want to see one gaze averted. Don't want to have to prove a point. Just want to know they're on my side. Just want to smile and inspire. Has anybody seen the choir? Anybody seen the church? Maybe that's where I can find them, standing tall against the fray, strength and unity behind them. Have they gathered at the river? Are they washed upon the shore? Have they set the world on fire? Help us. Has anybody seen the choir? Seen the choir? I want to preach. I want to preach to the converted. See them rise. I want to see them rising up. Don't want to see one gaze. Don't want to see one gaze averted. Don't want to have to prove a point. Just want to know. Just want to know they're on my side. Just want to smile and inspire. Has anybody seen the choir? Are they teaching in the schools? Are they drinking in the bars? Are they making all the rules? Are they fighting in the wars? All I want to do is get a glimpse of who they are. Has anybody ever seen the choir? Though we may never reach consensus, hope is still within our reach. We can learn to move together, put some motion in our speech. We are a mighty congregation with strength beyond our means. We have the passion and desire. Has anybody seen the choir? Has anybody seen the choir? I want to preach to the converted. I want to see them rising up. Don't want to see one gaze averted. Don't want to have to prove a point. Just want to know they're on my side. Just want to smile and inspire. Has anybody seen the choir? Just want to smile and inspire. sing the choir. Woo. Thank you.
Emma's Revolution and Holly near and far. Don't worry, they will be back.